funk. Thoughts deep, boys steeped in the depths that he sunk. Big stress, depressed in the middle of fall. Sky gray, I lay in the thick of it all. I wonder, how long can a human survive just staying alive or carrying the rest of the tribe? Waiting for the day to arrive or struggling dies, and I be doing way, way more than getting by. So why? Got myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Hey, got myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Realize life is so much more than just living a day. Every day I can sit and reflect and breathe and connect to myself and all that I've been given. See, giving up is not an option. So when I'm looking at gray skies, I'll be adopting a new way to deal with a test. Lord, relieve me of stress. The rain be looking like when blessings drop in. And so I got myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Hey, here we go. Yeah, let's do this. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. In times of test, let no harm beset me, oh my Lord, oh my Lord.
Well, it's Tuesday night, and I'm pissed off. I normally wouldn't be on tonight. I have a lot of work to do. And by the way, if you hear anything in the background, pay no mind to it, okay? But unless you've lived in a cave all of your life, you know what happened today. And I don't know what makes me angrier, the actions of these despotic de facto coup Republicans, or the Democratic Party, of which I am a part of, and their lackluster response to what has happened today. I'm tired. I'm sick to the back of my teeth of it. And while I support, for example, the person running for Congress in my district, my senators, I've been reading stuff from them today. I'll give you an example. I won't even mention names. I like her. I've actually talked to her, and I will vote for her. She said it's been weeks since extended unemployment benefits expired, and South Jersey's families and businesses are still struggling. It's time for our leaders who will produce the needs of our community above politics. It's time for action and relief. Now, that sounds good. And then we had Bob Menendez. He got a little tougher and said, these Republicans are hypocritical. I think the time for this kind of shit is over. Because I don't want to have to be the one in the threads to have to defend the Republican parties and put my balls on the line and say what has to be said. I'm sick and tired. And that's why I've invited our daily guest.
Daily?
And, yeah.
I can't even get a word in edgewise.
I can't say his name because he has requested that I not give his name, but he wants to be known as... No, I'm not solo tonight, folks. the guy who has nothing better to do on Tuesday nights, who has recently changed his name to the guy who has nothing better to do on Saturday nights. But as much as we argue all the time, and I'm sure we'll argue tonight, Dave and I are consistently in the same camp, and from day to day, we don't know which one of us is more pissed off than the other. So at least we can relate. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce the guy who has really nothing better to do on Tuesday nights, and he's here, David Price.
Well, hello.
How do you like that introduction?
That was adequate, I suppose, for you, Brian. Mm-hmm. So you're pissed off.
I'm fucking mad. I don't start off cursing. I don't do that kind of thing until later in the broadcast, or if you get me upset. But right now, I've had it. I really, really had it. So I don't know what else to tell you, Dave.
All right. So well, you got to help me out here. You've had it. Isolate that into one thing. If you had to do the 10-point list, what's the thing tonight that has you the most pissed off? We'll start there.
Dave, it's a great question, because when I first thought about it, when I saw that initial blurb about Romney going to support voting on the nomination of a Supreme Court justice, at first I was pissed off against it. Okay, they're Republicans. I'm pissed at them. I'm pissed at Romney because you thought he could have at least said, I can wait 3 months on this. He knows the political ramifications, and he wanted to be the even-keeled Republican. At first, I thought that was going to get me pissed off, but I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this lack of a strong response and just going through the same crap of showing videos of Lindsey Graham being a hypocrite, saying that, hold me accountable if I dare change my mind about this 4 years or whatever. Now it's time to call a son of a bitch a son of a bitch. And these son of a bitches, they need to get a stick up their ass. I'm talking about the Republicans now, but you got to give it to them. And I don't know why they have to be the tough guys, because they're not that tough. Most of them are draft dodgers. Most of them cheat on their taxes. And they got to have the guns to protect themselves in the majority of the situations because they're afraid. That's what I think pisses me off the most. It's time now. This is why we call ourselves Divided We Stand, Dave, is that it has to be divided. There is no American who's undecided now. And they're over there and we're over here. And this is a dangerous situation because they are saying, the hell with you. We're going to do our thing. We don't care about Merrick Garland. We don't care about your protest. We don't give a shit about you. All we care about is our master, and that's Trump. And I'm so sick of it, Dave. And you can't sugarcoat it. We've been too easy on these bastards. All right, Dave. Tell me I'm wrong.
I asked you to give me one thing, and I counted 72, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to go the Ruth. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a true American hero. Unfortunately, she's viewed as a true American hero of the left. She's just a true American hero. Dies. Now, not unexpectedly, I suppose, but I think all of us who admire Ruth Bader Ginsburg wanted her to live for a couple of reasons. One is for her, and the other is that right now the Supreme Court decisions rested on Ruth as one of the four, and John Roberts, who is a Republican, who is a conservative, who is a Republican appointee, but as I've said before on various occasions, can't go too far afield of the law in terms of politics because it is his court. Now, we all know, we should know by now, that Donald Trump, I don't even know how to describe him in this sense. He's not amoral. He's not immoral. I don't think morals enter into his mind at all. Donald Trump's mind is very simple. If it's good for Donald Trump, that's good. If it's good for Donald Trump, that's good for him. It's good for his family. It's good for his business. It's good for America. It's good for everybody. Okay. So it does not surprise me that Donald Trump saw this as an opportunity to appoint a conservative. Now you have to look at motive, Brian, for everybody here involved. Donald Trump's motive, I always say don't get to motive, don't get to motive. You know, how do you know? He's pretty obvious. Donald Trump's motive is for Donald Trump, and right now Donald Trump wants to win the presidency, I think, for three reasons. One is he's incumbent, and no incumbent likes to lose. Right?
That's correct.
So that makes sense. Okay. But in Donald Trump's world, there is no, what is it? There is no winning with honor. There's only losing with dishonor. So, it goes beyond that. Secondly, Donald Trump wants to win because someday, not now, but someday we'll have a total amount of money that he has made as president of the United States. And it will be in the millions through his properties, through enticing foreign governments and others to stay either at Mar-a-Lago or at Trump in Washington, all of which was illegal from the get-go and continues to be. But it's a fancy word, emoluments. It doesn't have the pizzazz of getting a blowjob in the White House. And the majority of people on all sides, they're not real sure about it. Because to be honest with you, why they're not real sure about it, Brian? They never really need to use it. Jimmy Carter had, what, a $75,000 peanut? No, he had more than that. But it wasn't much of a big peanut farm. He just said, no, I can't do that and run that and have that as president. But I'm going to tell you, I think the biggest reason Donald Trump wants to be president. The day Donald Trump is no longer president, he is fair game for the state of New York to come after him for all the crimes he has committed in New York. Now, people might say to me, Dave, how do you know he's committed crimes? Because he's Donald Trump. Okay? He's committed crimes in the White House. You're going to tell me suddenly in the White House he started committing crimes? Absolutely not.
And you think Cyrus Vance, though, is going to it's Cyrus Vance. You can't even trust him.
Who can you trust, Brian?
Right.
I'm just saying that's well, I think Trump must fear him because he's fighting so desperately to stay in.
It's a question how far Cyrus Vance will go.
We get to Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, who does, I'll post again tomorrow. I post it periodically. I think tomorrow's day. I don't know if you knew this, Brian. Did you know that Mitch McConnell once was Brandy Clampett on the Beverly Hillbillies? Well, and I liked her.
He looks really like a hillbilly.
And then she got the gender change and became Mitch McConnell. So I'll show you, post that tomorrow to show you. Mitch McConnell, no concern for anything except power. And he wants his legacy to be, it's finally, I mean, I kind of knew, but I think now I really, he is the man who made the Supreme Court and the justice system of America conservative. Notice what he's been running his mouth about. It wasn't to set up a replacement for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It's he's taking great pride in his record of approving these judges, most of which are not fit. I shouldn't say that. I don't know all of them.
And he couldn't care less about the judges himself.
Not to be fit to judge a dog contest, let alone be federal judges. So we looked on and we said, well, okay, maybe, just maybe, there are two kinds of Republican senators. Those that will rise to the moment and say, you know what, let's hold off and let's see, who's president. It's kind of fair. Maybe that's the way to do it. And the other, which I put a little bit more stock in than I guess I should have, was I'm in a close race. Let's just at least wait. So prior to today, what you had all these things in play. You knew Trump wanted. McConnell had already said, we will bring Donald Trump's nomination. Trump said, oh, this is nice, isn't it? I will wait until the weekend so that Justice Ginsburg can have some kind of proper final moment. And McConnell said, "We will bring President Trump's nominee to the floor for a vote." They had enough people if he could press it. What I thought. So then we had the two, Senator from Maine, Collins, and from Alaska, Murkowski, who said, "You know what? This isn't fair. Okay, it's kind of, we should wait, at least see who the president is. Let's hold off." And then many hopes soared because it was reported or thought or believed to be that Romney would be the person, and then you'd be down. Remember, you need 4 Republicans to bolt. If they had 2, they thought Romney, and then maybe one. I mean, they would get someone.
But we don't have it now, Dave. That's the bottom.
I know. Oh, you got to tell people. Look, Brian. Everybody's real. Not everybody follows politics this way. I mean, you say, "Well, I know." Well, you know. They may not know. So today, Mitt Romney announced, "I am fine with going ahead with the vote." He went even further. He said, "I'm fine with it going ahead prior to the presidential vote, and I'm fine waiting until after, whatever Majority Leader McConnell decides to do, and that person, it's fine." Now, what he didn't go so far to say, because they always hedge their bets, is, "I will support this person." It is a done deal from the Republicans. If Charles Manson would declare himself tomorrow a Republican, and that was Trump's choice, and McConnell will back Trump's choice, they would nominate. So it doesn't matter. Now,
right. Now, that's the important thing there, though. You're saying it wouldn't matter the choice, which tells us there's a big reason why they're willing to do something that horrible, because it's obvious that they don't like us at all.
Here's where I'm not disagreeing with your point that we're too nice, and we'll get to that. When I say nice, I'm talking about liberals and the Democrats and all that. And there's a reason why. But the Republicans understand the real nature of the game. And it's never changed, Brian, since, the city-states, Athens and Sparta, and even prior to that.
But there is a difference now, Dave.
Well,
okay,
yes.
we've redlined with this situation. You yourself have said that this is like 1860.
Well, I'm going to get, but you got to go in. Like, here we are. Well, how do we get there? All right. So what happens is, politics is the same. Right? I've talked to many. Oh, this is different. Bullshit. It's not different. What is different is this. There's kind of been an understood gentleman's agreement that maybe there were a couple lines you just don't cross out of civility, especially in the Senate. Not so much the House, right? But in the Senate, I yield to the distinguished senator for Louisiana, and I understand his need for the Ku Klux Klan, but that kind of. That's what the Republicans have changed. What they say is no. We don't really have those lines.
And the Democrats, hold it right there. You said, okay, there's some, for want of better words, like there's some decorum that's supposed to occur in the Senate. And what you've said is true. The Republicans don't have that. But my point, Dave, is that we still have that. And what does it take? John Lewis to come up from the dead and do something?
Contraire, my friend.
And Biden better come back at him.
When you're done, let me know.
Look, you've got to be emotional. You have too much decorum.
Wait. Now, do you know why the Democrats can't have it right now? It's a very simple 5-letter word. They don't have the POWER. The power, the juice, the thing that makes politics go. The Republicans or the Trumpicans or whatever the hell you want to call them have the White House. That's an immense amount of power.
Absolutely. I get that. But there's creativity.
They have the Senate, which is an immense amount of power. Now, you say the Democrats impeached Donald Trump. We forget that. Donald Trump could care less. You know why he could care less? Because he knew the Senate would say, nope, not giving him a penalty, not there, gone. People have to understand that impeachment process. It's a two-step process, all right? The House is like the jury. The Senate is like the judge. So if you're in a trial, the jury said, that man is guilty, and the judge says, oh, maybe, maybe not, but I don't care. We're letting him go. That's power, Brian. Now, I made a mistake, and I think a lot of us did too, in this sense. I've been writing a lot and talking a lot about it not being the Republican Party or true Republican Party or not conservatives, because I was kind of buying into, which is true. I mean, George Will, conservatives, the Lincoln Coalition, George Bush, the people that are out of power, right? Doing that. What I forgot was this. If you are a Republican, you are a conservative. And you know what their number one goal is, Brian?
The Supreme Court.
Always has been, always will be.
But that's not the only goal. They want everything now, Dave. I get it. Look, I get it. I just gave you the answer, okay? I chose door number 1. I got the car. But I'm telling you, they want door number 2 and door number 3, and Monty Hall can't stop them.
Brian. What they want more than anything is the Supreme Court. Why? They have, 5 people now, right? They get that 6. I'm not great in math, but that's 6-3.
And you'll never see a day where they don't have that advantage at your age. At your age, if they get that, you'll never see a good day for the rest of your life.
Well, au contraire, my friend, but it'll take some work.
Are you going to burn the place down? What are you going to do?
Would you like to wait until I can give a goddamn answer? Or do you just want to do the goddamn show yourself? I mean,
I'm trying to get the answer out of you.
I'll just sit here, okay? This is Brian. No.
Okay.
Brian, if they
even
get to
Gary
6 to
Pigcock's
3,
telling you to.
You want me to make you happy?
Here.
If they get to 6-3, and they're going to get there, barring something unforeseen, we are fucked. Got it. But I'm trying to think like them. They don't care. It's not personal. They want a conservative court. They would take it. They would take it over the presidency. They would take it over the Senate. They've already done it with federal judges. They're there. They're there. Okay, Brian? Now, we don't know yet, and I don't think it makes a difference, whether they vote before the election or after the election. With Romney today, I mean, it is a done deal. The only thing, I don't even know how you would delay. I mean, people are suggesting things like walking out. Well, they don't care. We've seen Republican legislatures vote with no Democrats there. We've seen them, tell them. It's sort of like, you got 6 friends and there's 5. You tell the 5 other guys, go over there. The meeting's Tuesday. You hold it Monday night.
Dave, what did I say? What was my idea? It was kind of crude, but what was my idea for the? Because I didn't buy into the idea that these Republicans were going to all of a sudden do an about face because of the election. You know what I said? I did the Larry Flint thing. I'm saying you've got to humiliate these people. You've got to dig this shit up. You got to play hardball. Listen,
you want to go into 15 points. We'll go with your humiliation. It doesn't work. You want to know why?
Oh, sometimes it does.
Okay. Are you done? It doesn't work on a person who can't be humiliated.
Oh, I think he can.
Who can? Donald
Trump
can be humiliated? Mitch McConnell? Who?
There are plenty of Republicans who can be humiliated.
No, they don't care. Brian, they don't care. They're not. Jerry Falwell?
Look what happened to him. He was humiliated. He can't even...
You really think so? $10 million walk away and it'll just start a new church? Look, they don't care, Brian.
He does
They're
care.
Not like us.
He's mad that he got he was caught doing his shit.
Talk to him on the phone.
So no, it doesn't matter. He doesn't want to have anybody know that he's watching his wife get shook by the pool boy. Okay.
You really think Donald Trump can get? There's nothing that man could do.
Oh, he's got thin skin. Believe me.
Oh, fine. What are we gonna do? Humiliate him into a heart attack?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What else is it? Humiliation
Man
does
is a
work
walking-
sometimes.
Is a walking time bomb, and he hasn't died yet.
Well,
What
look,
I'm saying, you're
he
missing the
did go
point.
to Walter Reed when he was all flustered that time. Why
Oh,
not? Try
God,
anything.
Jesus Christ, Brian. Look, if I produce pictures of you having sex with your least favorite co-teacher in Bridgeton, and I had them, would you be humiliated if I gave them to your wife and put them out online and your students saw them?
Would I be humiliated? Of course I'd be humiliated.
Stop. Republicans, some of the Republicans aren't like that. They're not, Brian. You can't shame someone who has no shame. So now I'm getting to your point. You have to play the power game, but you have to play it in order to win.
But there's nothing we can do before
Do about
November
what?
as far as the
I'm going to give you
Supreme
5 or
Court.
6
It's
things
done.
we could do.
You've got what are you gonna like? You can't burn the place down. You've
Well,
got
you
to.
can.
You got to
Good.
dig shit up on people and say, "Look, you do this.
They don't
This is what
care,
Putin
Brian.
does."
Their voters don't care, and they don't care. They don't care. Donald Trump said it. I wasn't sure about it. I am now. I could kill somebody on Fifth Avenue, Times Square, wherever the hell it was, and I wouldn't lose any votes.
Well, he cares about the P tapes. I can bet you on that.
What?
I bet you he cares about the P tapes.
Not really.
I don't know, but
Not really.
maybe
If
one day
they
we'll
exist
find
at all.
out.
If they exist at all,
Right.
because he'll just lie about them, and people believe it's lies.
Well, that.
So,
I
so
think
here's what's
people.
going to happen.
I don't even know if they believe it. They don't, like you said, they don't care. But humiliation and not caring about the other side is a different thing. But
not
we can
right.
look. The very fact
Look,
that he doesn't
let me
like.
try this again.
Hold it.
You can be humiliated.
I'm telling you, with the media, the one thing that bothers him the most is the media. He hates MSNBC. Anything that he does, he tries to humiliate Ali Velshi. He makes a joke out about Velshi being shot with rubber bullets.
He deals in humiliation.
hates
He can't be
the
humiliated.
media because they humiliate
Donald Trump
him.
cannot be humiliated.
Well, I stand to differ. I think that
That's
Morning
fine.
Joe has humiliated. He watches that thing every day because he's so pissed off. That's why he's trying to get put the media
being
out.
pissed off and being humiliated. There's nothing he would do. So let's get out of
Hold it.
this.
Gary
As
Peacock.
always,
Gary,
no,
hold it. Gary just said Dave is making our point. No, Gary, Dave is making your point. Not everybody agrees. Okay, even Dave would say that. Okay,
What's that?
You're stating that you are agreeing with Dave, and that's fine. I have no problem with
Gary
that.
is?
But Gary Peacock, your best friend.
Yeah. Well, he's a good friend. Let's try it this way, Brian. Let's get to the meat. Where you and I could argue all night on this. So it's not important.
Right.
What is important is what you do now.
What we do
First of all,
next. Correct.
You called for action. And yes, it's time for action. Why? Because it's very silly, but you could want to play baseball, right? You could be very good at baseball. Baseball is a gentleman's sport, but the other opposition wants to play football, and they want to play football without rules. And that's basically, and they're very good at that. So you've got to play their game. So what happens? First of all, this is what I think will happen. Let me run through the whole scenario. There are 2 names being bantered about, both of which are scary as hell. One, depending on which way you go, one is more than the other. I will guarantee you this: it will be a female. Well, it's Donald Trump. You can't guarantee anything, but he's already said that, and this one he'll stick to. It'll be a female who probably does have female sex organs, but she will have no female thinking whatsoever. That with Roe v. Wade could be gone. Church separation between church and state will be gone. I asked people to research the 2 names just so you know them, and if it's somebody else will research them. So let's say they get the vote on Wednesday, whatever. So now going into the election, the Supreme Court is now 6-3, and what does that mean? Well, it means goddamn good and well that the road for Joe Biden's victory just got a lot steeper. Joe Biden has, if that's the case, the final tally cannot be thrown to the Supreme Court. We saw what
That's
happened.
obvious now. Now you're done.
Yeah, it is. No, I mean, there's no question,
Right.
of course.
There we
So-
agree.
So the first thing you have to do is we have to help Joe Biden to have such a margin of victory in so many areas that even though Trump won't concede, it won't get to the Supreme
Right.
Court.
But doesn't Joe have to help himself in this? He has to get involved right now with this kind of crap. Don't you think?
No.
So you don't think he should make some kind of statement like this is bullshit, or
Brian.
he wants the working man's vote, talk like a working man.
All right, you just got done saying that Lindsey Graham, and you didn't say this, but he said, Lindsey Graham said, I will not hold a vote, and you can use those words against me.
Right.
Politicians can say any goddamn thing they want, Ryan. It's what do they do? I don't give a shit what Joe Biden says as long as it helps him get elected. I give every shit.
Right, but what I'm
Joe
saying
Biden does
is
if he gets
what
elected.
Democrats, at least in my opinion, Dave, Democrats want somebody with balls. Okay, somebody that is going to fight back finally and say, I'm not going to take this shit. And you hit them right back in the gut because they are bullies.
Ryan.
And what do you have to do with a bully?
Ryan.
You have to attack the bully first. And Joe Biden's got to do it. No bullshit.
Listen. Okay. Joe Biden has to do what Joe Biden has to do to get elected. That's all Joe Biden has to do.
Well,
Nothing
I
more.
would posit that he's got to be tougher with
No,
Trump.
I'll tell you why. That job's been done for him. Last I knew, you're a man, right? Still a man?
I hope you're not talking to me.
I was, Brian. Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I mean, not a man in terms of macho.
No,
Man,
I get it. You're right.
Women
you have
are
to stand
pissed
up for
off.
yourself. Okay?
Women are pissed off about the treatment of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, not the Republican women. I'm talking about the independent women. Now, are you really naive enough, and you're not, to think that Republicans don't cause and have abortions? Of course they do.
Of course not.
So, they'll get their judge, but if we can work enough to just...
Well, look, let's just agree on this. First of all, because you started talking about independence. I don't think there are, for all intents
come
and
on,
purposes.
Brian.
Yeah, listen. You haven't heard what I'm going to say. All I'm saying is,
so go ahead.
everybody has decided where they're going to go. I don't
That
think
is not
there's
true.
an independent out there. Okay.
That is not
My
true.
point is, you have to galvanize, and you have to make the Democratic Party incendiary and say, God damn it, I'm getting out there, and I'm going to
right,
go out
stop.
there with bells and whistles.
No, Brian. If
Because
any
they do
Democrat isn't incendiary enough with the threat of a Donald Trump election,
Apparently not in this country. They should
how?
have known at the last.
Why? He's won 32 votes in a row. How do you support that statement?
I'm saying, first of all, with 2016, we shouldn't even have been in that position. Same thing with 2000. The
Well,
Democrats
let's see.
have to come out.
In 1964 at the World's Fair, I shouldn't.
Oh, no.
You're in the past. The past
Okay.
doesn't matter,
No.
except how it informs the
It does.
future.
They have to come out. You cannot stay back. Every Democrat has to come out, and they can't be afraid. I'm not saying that it's necessarily the only thing to do, but I'm saying I'm tired and sick
Fine.
and tired
Would you
of
rather
Democrats
have Joe Biden?
being weak about this.
Would you rather have Joe Biden get the Brian Weinstein seal of approval for being tough, or would you rather have Joe Biden defeat Donald Trump?
You're assuming that your way is the right way.
I'm not, you stupid idiot.
Okay. See, now, if they were
I'm
like,
assuming-
hold on, there you go. You ignore what you defend. Just what you did. That was the perfect thing. You say, you stupid idiot. That's essentially what I'm looking for. Because that's what people are saying. This fucking stupid idiot, not me, but Trump, I want Joe to be me. I'm sick and tired of saying...
Oh, God, no. I want him to win. I don't want him to be you.
Okay. But I'm
Jesus
tired
Christ.
of people like Joe Biden saying, and I'm for Joe. But don't tell me
wait
this
a
shit
minute,
like
wait a minute.
I'm going to be the candidate for all people, for Republicans, and bring us together. Bullshit. Bullshit.
last time you
Just
heard him
come
say
out
that?
and Joe like Roosevelt and attack
I'm
him
gonna go
for
on record
everything
saying
for
that.
talking
I
about
will-
his
I
Scottish
will give-
Terrier. I get to
I can
yell
speak
tonight,
now?
Dave. I'm the one who's pissed, not you.
And anger is
Yeah.
a wonderful
I need
thing.
anger management tonight, but I'm sorry.
No, it's a wonderful thing if used properly.
Right.
Brian, I will apologize to you on the first show after the first debate if I say to you Joe Biden was too soft on Donald Trump. We'll leave it to the debate.
All right. All right.
Fine.
Fair enough.
Now, the question is, first of all, what do we do? It's not what Joe Biden's going to do. It's what we're going to do. Me, you, everybody who hates Donald Trump, everybody who cares about the country. So what we have to do is get as many people as we can to vote. Have you voted yet?
No.
Can
I
you
haven't
vote-
received my ballot yet.
So can you vote early in New Jersey?
I will get my ballot in a few weeks.
Oh,
but
so
I
they
will-
don't have
I don't want to. Don't quote me on this because I don't know for sure. I know I get
Exactly.
the
That's
ballot
my
in a few
point.
weeks.
I'm not. Look, so many people don't know. I know. You know why I know? Because I voted on the first day, which was last Friday in Virginia. My vote. I'm not saying I'm great or anything. I'm just saying my vote is done.
Right.
All right. And everybody needs to get their vote done at a time. And let's not mince words. You always say don't mince words. At a time when casting your ballot could cause your own death.
Correct.
Do you agree with that?
Right.
In a pandemic. So whatever you need to do, whatever you can bring yourself to do, you need to do. You need to make sure if everybody got one person. Now let's take our group, okay, as an example of what can happen. And I might be off a figure or two, and please correct me if I am, Brian. You and I started this, and I think the first thing we're going to do was the show, right? And we did that for a couple weeks, experimenting with it, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And I think we had just for the show, we had like 6 followers at the end of a few weeks.
Right. We didn't have
Then we
much at
started
all.
the Facebook page, which was, I don't know, May, June, right? Not that long ago.
Right.
And we're up over 900.
Right.
That is amazing. And thank you for anybody out there who's
Yes.
listening or sees it later for being one of those 900. Now, how do those 900 get there? I sent out stuff. You sent out stuff. Renetta Silva in Texas. You've mentioned some
There
others.
are a lot of different
Exactly.
tools.
And that's
to
what
get
we
with
need to
them.
do. And we need to do it in states that I don't need to do it with my next door neighbor in Virginia,
Right.
because Virginia is going to go Democratic. I need to figure out between now and then, I'm looking at who in Kentucky, who in Texas,
I'm
who in
registered.
Ohio, who in Florida. Right?
Right.
All right. So that's one thing we can do. Biden will take care of Joe Biden. Now, if we get him elected, I'm fairly certain that we will also get the Senate. But if we don't get both, bets are off, right? If we get one, because we need, you said it earlier, we know we're not going to have, we know at the end of this election, we will not have the Supreme Court. We know that. It'll be a 6-3 court.
If he wins and the Republican Senate wins, in 4 years' time, there will be some type of civil war or a mass exodus to Canada.
Please just stay with the question. No matter how November election plays out, at this point, it appears, barring divine intervention, that the court will be 6-3
Yes.
conservative. All right. But would you agree with this? If Joe Biden doesn't win, the whole game changes completely, and we'll have a whole separate shows. That's right.
Right.
If Joe Biden wins, but the Senate stays in Republican control, we'll have a whole different set of shows.
Correct.
But I'm working under what I believe will happen. I haven't been right for a long time, but I think, barring again whatever, I think that Joe Biden will come out the winner. I think the Democrats.
Let me ask you this, because you just said that. You think that Joe Biden will come out the winner. Are you saying that in January he will have an inauguration?
Yep.
All right.
Exactly.
That's all I want to hear. Okay.
That's exactly. Because, Brian, if we don't, we're right where you say. We're going to have to take the streets. Okay?
Right. And that's a distinct possibility. Even
Never,
you.
never arguing
Okay.
that. I go beyond you. I think it's a probability, possibly no matter who wins.
Right. I think there's not a person in the group, the divided we stand group, because we are of like minds in general.
Right.
I think there is that extreme worry because we instinctively
Well,
know
okay.
and
Whoa,
have
whoa, whoa,
known
whoa,
what
whoa.
they do. It's
I'm not gonna,
chicanery that
I'm not
goes
let's use the
on
word worry.
at every level.
Let's use your anger. I don't worry about it. It's a possibility. It's Brian, in every situation in life, it's what you do confronted with the reality, not how you worry about the possibilities. There's no contingency plan for this. This will unfold just like the pandemic. So let me get back to my point. If we have the presidency in Biden, we have the Senate by enough, right? You just need, the margin, and we have the House. Then here are the things that can be done and should be done. And I will ask them to be done, not that they have to listen to me, in no particular order. The abolishment of the Electoral College,
Good.
statehood for Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico. Why statehood? They deserve it.
They deserve
They
it.
should have
and
it.
they should know this
And
time to take
politically,
it.
the reason they haven't had it, Brian, is politically that will add 4 senators,
Right.
Democrats.
But Puerto Rico, in the end, has in the past has chosen not to. But now I think they know it would be in their best interest.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dead people in Puerto Rico killed by Donald Trump's
Right.
incompetence. Just like there's 200,000 Americans. Not all of them killed by Donald Trump's incompetence, but a hell of a lot of them. All right, so what else do we need to do?
Okay, by the way, can you just
we need
answer
to look.
Keith?
We need immediately. The first thing the Senate needs to do is kill the filibuster. Make it. We have to bring it to the floor. We have to have a vote. You can't do what McConnell did. And the most important thing, or I can't say the most, but definitely to me the most, is you simply add 4 judges to the Supreme Court. And they have to have 2 qualifications. They have to be extremely liberal and they have to be extremely young. Voila. Problem solved. Would you agree?
Can you repeat that one more time? I was just reading something, Dave. They have to be extremely young. Look, just do it again for me. Okay.
Yes. Okay. You want all 4 or just the last one?
Just the last one.
Okay. You expand the Supreme Court
Right.
by 4 seats because that would make it a 7-6 court. So you now have the control. And you, the Democrats, make sure that the judges have 2 qualifications. I mean, they're decent people, but they are extremely liberal. They will support gay rights. They will support the right
Right.
of blacks.
They're what we would what we would expect in a Supreme Court justice.
Right, exactly.
Yes, I agree.
That's interesting. You said we would expect because it's not what the conservatives expect.
No, and they're willing to kill for
Yeah,
it.
and we could be doing. Now, we can go in another show about. I just had a debate tonight with some Democrats here about why that's a bad idea. Well, part of that is because FDR tried it and it got shot down. But FDR, different time, different situation. Not looking at. Think of those. Think of the judges, with the exception of Thomas and Alioto. You've got three judges on there, and then the 4th comes on. Probably could serve 40 years. Probably could serve 30, 40 years.
Right. We'd be long gone. You and I are long gone.
And the country might be long gone too. So there are the things you do, Brian, but you have to do them sequentially. That's what people, I think, sometimes. I'm not saying not do them without passion. I consider myself very passionate. I'm not saying not do them without anger. I'm not saying to do them nicely. Look, I'm a child of the 60s. There's a place for peace. There's a place for love. There's a place for understanding. But here's where we are. We, America, whatever. We are being governed by a bully, the worst kind of bully, a narcissistic, cowardly bully, who is being supported by a party who has no lines that they will not cross to get and keep power. Okay? I've said all along, and I'll never change. Power is what's it about in politics. But normal people
who go in should have some lines that they will not cross. I will not murder someone, right? I will, whatever they are. I don't even know if that's true of the Republicans anymore. So yeah, you have to take a tough line, Brian. But all this is moot. All of this is just mental, physical, whatever masturbation, unless we, the people, no, we, the liberal Democratic people, get Joe Biden elected. Now,
Well, hold it one second. We have to remember, and you've said this yourself.
right?
Like we look at Bernie. Biden has to remember that he has to position himself in such a way that he doesn't piss off,
Come on,
half the party.
No, and I'll tell you why not. Fuck them. If they're going to get pissed off at Joe Biden, then go kiss Donald
No,
Trump.
I'm talking about. I mean, Joe Biden
I don't care
can't.
what- I don't care what you're
Listen,
talking
listen.
about, Ron.
Joe
I
Biden
don't
can't
care.
turn around. Listen, here's a scenario. What happens if Joe Biden comes out in January? He wins the election. He says, "Look, let's let bygones be bygones. We did have a liberal
heard
court.
of-
I don't like
never
the
heard of
fact that the
protests?
courts are
Nothing
6-3,
that says
but we're going to let it
nothing
go."
that says if Joe Biden doesn't do what we, the people, want him to do, that we let him get away with it. I have a lot more faith in making Joe Biden do something than I do making Donald Trump do something.
Dave, you know how much nobody hates Donald Trump in this country or Republicans. I've been against Republicans since
So
1993.
why are you worried about Joe Biden? Let's get him elected first.
Only because people like me, and I can't be alone, I think you need a strong voice. A leader, you said, has to be somebody who can communicate well and somebody that shows some strength. You can't have a weak leader. That was the problem, really the problem that Obama had, and that's why he lost the Merrick Garland thing, because he was too weak about it.
No, Obama lost everything that he should have won because he was black. It's that simple.
That's true, but he lost to himself when it came to Merrick Garland. He could have pushed Merrick Garland through. He should have known that these bastards were going to pull this crap with him.
All right, I'm not defending Barack Obama, but I'm going to say this. And I would say that I have the utmost respect for Barack Obama. He will go down. His legacy will only grow.
He was a gentleman, everything. I'm just talking about what he
I know
should
that.
have done.
That's what I'm saying. But sometimes, okay, what Barack Obama did not have was enough experience in politics to be the kind of president who could move away from his personality, which is basically, he said it all along, Brian, he considers himself to be a writer, a thinker, that kind of thing. I think he thought, I can reason with these people.
Right.
I think he found out
That
he
was
couldn't.
naivete.
Now, Joe Biden was there for 8 years with Barack Obama. It was one of the true bromances. It was one of the great teams of president and vice president. Joe has more experience. Now, let's see how quickly he uses that experience to find out that the Senate he left is not the Senate that's there now. Now, you're talking about strong voices. A leader, yeah, okay, they have to do certain things. But you need, I think the Democratic team has many, many strong leaders. AOC, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie.
Right. I'll agree with you
This
there.
goes on. And so Biden's job, it's very simple. And we just have to hope he makes the right decision. Joe Biden has to beat Donald Trump.
And by the way, look
Then
how
get the
AOC
government.
became
What?
effective, because she was kicking some ass, and that's why she won against an incumbent in her own primary. She kicked ass twice.
Brian, you're not that naive. You can't be that naive. You can kick ass in a local election because whether you like it or not, the district shares something in common by the mere fact that they live in a small, condensed area compared to the United States.
I get that.
So
But
what works to get you elected in Congress will not necessarily work to get you elected. There are two things with this, Brian. Joe Biden has to get elected.
And
then
not
he has-
necessarily not get you elected. It can work both ways.
All right. I would say this. I have no problem saying. Like I said, there are only two kinds of people right now in America, as far as I'm concerned. Those who vote for Joe Biden and those who vote for Donald Trump. I'm only with the people that vote for Joe Biden. I understand that you can vote third party. I understand you can write in. I understand you can sit it
And we
out.
both agree on that. If you
Yeah,
vote
I have no
third
problem.
party,
I mean, I can't force you.
you
I
are not
I
helping
convince you.
the situation in any way whatsoever.
Well, is that Gary, Facebook user?
No, that one is Keith Boyd.
Oh, Keith, you're absolutely right. Okay, and you notice I've said that all along. We've lost the Supreme Court. We have to have the other three: the presidency, the Senate, and the House. And with that, we can get back the Supreme Court. Okay, and we can do some of the things that we've needed to do for a long time. Now, like I said, there's winning and then there's governing. And some people are very good at winning and very lousy at governing. And some people, they're not that good. But it really doesn't matter because if you don't win, you can't govern. Okay, I mean that's the bottom line. There's no consolation prize. You can wait till next year. You can wait till the next election. Hey, Mark. The idea is this. So, my position, if you're asking, tonight, and I always reserve the right to change tomorrow. Tonight, I'm saying we, I speak as liberal, so I'm going to say liberal Democrat tonight together. The Democrats, the liberals, we have lost the Supreme Court. It was 5-4, it will be 6-3. Now, the reason that's so disturbing to me is, and I've said it many times, the 5-4 court with John Roberts being not the swing, but the judge. Now it doesn't matter. Roberts can actually protect his legacy and lose. I mean, think about that, right? He can vote with the three Democratic appointees.
Don't bet on it.
He can if he wants to. He's still got
I'm
five
just
votes.
saying, don't
count?
bet on it. Look what
Brian,
happened to Robert
you're
Mueller.
So hate-filled with this. You don't understand the reality of it. It doesn't matter what John Roberts does.
Is
They
John
have enough
Roberts
votes.
a conservative or a liberal?
Of course, he's a conservative.
That's all I have to say.
Oh, okay. Are you that now?
So you're
I started
saying
naive.
no. You're saying that
no.
because he wants to protect his legacy, that all of a sudden he'll become a liberal. That doesn't make sense.
I didn't say that. You
didn't have to. You're implying it.
Did you take stupid pills tonight?
You took
Brian.
implying pills.
Listen, here we go. Is there a difference between a 6-3 decision in the Supreme Court and a 5-4?
That kind of questioning is a psychological question to lead the listener.
It is not a psychological question. The correct answer is no. There is no difference. There's none.
So then
None.
why can't he just vote 6-3 and just vote for the conservative? Why not?
You're missing the point. I don't care now how John Roberts votes because it doesn't matter. Before, I think he might have done some things for his legacy. Now, if he doesn't want to be known as the person who ended Roe v. Wade, he doesn't have to.
It doesn't matter. It's going to be 6-3. How's that?
I got you there.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter if it's 5-4.
Every
6-3.
vote in the future, if it's any major type of issue,
Sandy,
6-3, 6-3, 6-3. That's
Or
what's
5-4,
going to
Brian.
happen.
Would you concede that? It doesn't matter. All you need is a majority. 6-3 is no different than 5-4.
Right, but I tell you there is a difference, though, because it shows you how
Brian,
divided this country is, because it shows you...
You don't understand
No,
power.
it shows you how the minority has cemented the political power in this country, Dave, whether it be at the political level or the Supreme Court.
Brian,
They don't deserve it. It should be 3-6 in the other direction.
We have to take it away from them.
Okay. Right.
That's all. It's
And
very
it'll
simple. You're talking around in circles. Oh, if it's 6-3, oh, it shows how powerful they are. If it's 5-4, it shows how powerful they are, Brian.
I think you're missing my point. Okay.
I don't think you have one, but go ahead. Try to make one.
I'm saying that when you know on that court there are 6 conservatives
Correct.
and there are 3 liberals, and each vote is 6-3, that means that nobody's jumping over the rails there. They're staying on their side and this side.
Well,
Nobody's
so
worried
what?
about anything.
No.
And
I
that
don't-
tells you
shouldn't care about that, and I shouldn't care about
this
that.
is the same shit at the political level. We have a political minority, Dave, that is
I gave you
dominating
the answer.
a democratic government.
So, okay, I'm going to take away from this. I said my position. I'm going to take away from this. You want Joe Biden to be the way you want him to do so he can win because you know how to win.
I'm saying between
and then
now
we'll kick ass.
and November.
What?
Between now and November, he's every time Trump says something, he's got to come right back. And the same thing with Kamala Harris. They gotta bust his balls. And not only him.
Now
No.
you
You're
finally
missing
said
my
something.
point.
Do
I
you know
gotta
anything-
stop you.
Do you know
Breaks.
anything about politics at all?
Okay,
You know anything
listen.
about politics?
It doesn't matter what you're saying. I'm talking Robert Menendez. I'm talking Cory Booker. I'm talking Amy Kennedy. I'm talking every Democrat on down the line from A to Z, or in Russian, Adoya. You are going to speak out, and you're going to work as a team. Just like this group, we decided if you come in here and you take a shot at Beau Biden, your ass is terminated. Your ass is
We have
terminated.
How many
And-
many
pardon me?
We have how many members?
Have been terminated? Plenty.
No, how many members do we have total, roughly?
We have 930 something right now.
We have rules for 930 people that work, right?
Pardon me?
How many Americans are there?
340 million.
All right. You know any rule that's going to work for 340 million people?
Any rule?
Rule. No, there's not. The point is, Brian, the larger the group, the harder it is to be dogmatic. Now, what you did say,
I don't
and
know
you're
that I agree with
rambling,
that. It works
very
for Trump.
what you did say is very important is we have the attack dog. It's the same attack dog that it's always been. The vice presidential candidate is your attack dog.
That's true. That's
Now.
true.
Now,
But he can't put a
I
sock in her
actually-
mouth.
If I could feel sorry for mama-loving Pence, fake Christian hypocrite that he is, I would. Kamala's going to eat his lunch and spit him out in a debate.
Yes.
It's not going to mean anything.
And she's a good
because
attorney. She's a prosecutor.
his people are still going to be his people. You know, and Kamala is.
Well, you know what he's
black
going to do? He's
woman
going to pull the "I know you are, but one of my childish crap."
whatever.
That's what.
I'm saying he's going to win. Now, so you've got your attack dog. Biden can put on whatever he wants, whatever he feels. Now there are people out there. You're not one of them, obviously.
By the way, Sandy just said, "Damn, what did I miss? You two are so entertaining." Sandy, we've been arguing all night, and we're on the same team. We haven't been able to agree in the last 2 hours.
Brian, Sandy, and you know this. Brian enters into these arguments with a handicap. When he's against me, and I'm his handicap because I'm always right. Now,
Well,
here
I'll
we
give you
go.
that. You've been 2 for 14 in your
Don't worry about that.
your
See,
guess.
Brian, again, what you just said is funny. You know when it's over? You know when this is over?
It's
Not
never
the
over.
show.
It's never over. Not in my opinion. It's never
that's
over.
Exactly it. It's never going to be over. Okay, it's never been over. When it will be over, you and Sandy and the other environmentalists, it will be over when we destroy the world. Then it's over. You know, that's a possibility. But I mean, as long as we're still around in any kind of shape, we'll still be doing this kind of thing. But back to Mr. Biden. One of the things, Brian, that I think people are looking for, I really do. I'm not saying the base. I'm saying, and you say everybody knows. I'm not so sure about that. Donald Trump's supporters don't care that he is a horrible man. But there are people out there, the undecided that you don't see. I'm not saying there's many, but who said, I want a good man. So Biden has to walk a relatively narrow, tight rope. I can't appease Trump, nor will he. He can't reason with Trump because that doesn't matter to his followers. So he's got to appear tough, right? Without people being able to say, we'd be fine with it, but without being the same. Oh, it's just, now it really is the same. Those two are just the same. So again, I'm not there. I would say Biden takes the high road as often as possible, but when he can, he counterpunches, and Kamala just lays it out, and they'll have other people to do that. It's not a one-man race. The other thing is, whether we like Joe Biden or we don't, Joe Biden, Star Wars, right? Obi-Wan Kenobi, help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi, your only hope. Joe Biden is our only hope right now,
Right.
as far as the forefront, you know.
Dave,
But it's
I'm
a
going to
team,
give you
Brian.
that to finish. You know, this is going to be one of these weird shows. I do have to cut off, Dave, because we get the hour. And
I can just talk and inform the people. All you've done is confuse them. So let's sum it up this way.
All I'm saying is
I
this.
gave you most of tonight. Listen.
This is a bigger crisis than David Price says it is. He has mentioned where we can go with this. This guy, I agree.
Ryan,
This
how
is
do you know
bigger
it's a
than
bigger
this.
crisis than what I said. It's a crisis. It's a crisis today. It may be a crisis tomorrow. I gave you the end of the crisis. Let me do it again in case you were playing with yourself and you didn't get it, or your mind was wandering because you have to.
Always these pseudo-sexual
The
comments.
guy, listen, the guy doesn't even go to school tomorrow. He's worried about it. Now, here we go. Here is the answer, Brian. Joe Biden wins the. And I don't want you to open your mouth. Joe Biden wins the presidency. The Democrats control the Senate, and the Democrats keep the House. Among the first orders of business they do, end the filibuster, approve statehood for Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C., not because it's the right thing to do, although it is, because it gives them 4 more senators. It buys them insurance. You end the Electoral College. Why should Montana have 2 senators with its population?
Agreed.
And California have 2 senators with its population. And the Electoral College, for those who don't know, it was steeped in sin. The Electoral College was brought in. We would not have a United States without it.
It's funny. I never heard Joe Biden mention any of that shit. You know.
Well, he may get around to it.
You've been saying all the things I want them to say. Listen, look.
Now,
my point is this: I'd rather them be strong
let me finish.
than weak.
You got me side. The fourth and most important
Finish.
thing is,
You haven't
unless
started.
they
You
can
keep
show
going.
me, unless they can show me a better way, you also expand the court. Now, I'm not a legal scholar. I understand the past history of the president. What the Republicans have taught us, you know what they've taught us, Brian? Past precedent means nothing. You can't play a game where you're going on the old rules and the other team is going on the new rules.
You're backing up my point.
We weren't arguing. You just don't listen. But you want it all now. Do this. No, it's step by step. You ain't going to do jack shit. You, me, rioting in the streets to change the 6-3 court. And it doesn't matter, Brian, and that's a whole nother show. Many shows. We may end up in a civil war. I mean, there's no question about that.
There you
Tonight's
go.
not the night for that. Tonight is what's one way to avert a civil war looming. And that is for Joe Biden to win, for Democrats to take over the Senate, for Democrats to maintain control in the House, and
I agree. All I'm
those
telling
4 things
you,
or more, that not because I suggested them, just because they are practical measures that can be legally done. Are you aware of this? I always use you, not because you're not, Brian. You're very astute politically. Let me ask you a question. But you're common in that sense. Must a Supreme Court justice be a lawyer to be a Supreme Court?
no.
That's correct. Now, if you ask 100 people that, I guarantee 100 people wouldn't say that. You know,
A president
I
doesn't have to have a high school degree. He's one of the few people that can just do anything and get up there. He just has to be a certain age and be born here.
And there you are.
Okay.
Now, tonight, and we'll leave with this. We didn't do
Promise?
it. We're not going to do it now. There's also the other idea of term limits. Let me just point this out. When the Supreme Court was created, Brian, do you know how old people were then?
When?
When the Supreme Court was created? What
How
was the average
old were
age?
they?
The average age of death?
I don't know. 45.
No, 37.
37.
All right. Now, would you agree that you're not going to appoint somebody 17 to the Supreme Court? It wouldn't happen, right? I mean, it just wouldn't
No.
happen. So
Make him
usually
a
you'd have to probably be in your 20s, probably about 27, 28.
to establish anything good. A lifetime appointment was for 10 years. Okay.
So
We
it makes it even worse. You make me even more depressed.
Why?
Because they're
change
using
that.
antiquated protocols to take advantage of the present. So again, it's the minorities cementing their influence against the majority, and that's what this is all about.
You listen tonight. I gave you many outs.
Right.
You were too
I
busy doing
know.
whatever it was you-
I'm saying,
What-
for
what do you-
Christ's
why do
sake,
you need-
you don't listen. You don't listen.
I'm
You're like, I mean, look, there's no time left here. You see? No, what I'm saying is I agree with everything that you're saying. All I am saying is between now and November, I don't want any Democratic candidate doing any wimpy shit. You hit him back in the gut. Nobody wants to have a wimp. I don't want to see Chuck Schumer play the wimpy guy and show me posters and videos of Lindsey Graham being a hypocrite. I don't need that shit. I need you to say, this horse's ass needs a stick up his ass. And with your vote, I can do it. That's what he essentially has to do. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm not asking for a civil war. I'm just asking to defend yourself in a fight.
That's not.
You don't play. Jesus doesn't work in this world. You don't turn the other cheek. Okay? He hits you in the face. You hit him back. And if he cheats, you kick him in the crotch.
My last comment to you, Brian.
Oh, you just had your last comment. Jesus Christ. How many last comments are you going to have?
Now listen to me.
Okay.
Here's the bottom
40
line.
minutes.
You could be nice. You could be wrong. You could be different. You don't have to fit in what I want. You don't have to fit in what Brian wants. You have to win. That's all. It doesn't matter whether you're a nice guy and win, a bad guy and win, a woman and win, a man who wins, a disguised bunny rabbit who wins in this election. Oh, yeah, Sandy. Yeah,
Oh, by the way,
right?
Sandy just said this.
Sandy, I'd rather go to the Arkham Asylum and Batman for the criminally insane.
I have to say this. Look, Sandy, when you're talking about Amy Kennedy, first of all, Amy Kennedy has talked to me. I've had a discussion with her as a teacher. No. I'm going to say this. She's a good person, Sandy. She really is. She's a wonderfully nice. She's very intelligent. And she is obviously like me. She's much younger than I am. And maybe I'm putting too much pressure on her saying she's got to kick it. Maybe that's just not her style. What's that?
And she's like you. You're a Kennedy?
No, I'm a Democrat. I'm a liberal. And I defend her every time she posts something. All I see are these Republicans trolling her site and just giving her shit. And then I give it back and try to defend. Look, and I'm not that good. But what I'm saying is that I think you just have to call it like it is. And you say, this opposition party is no good. And I am fighting this because they're not helping out the common man and woman in this county or this country. I think all Democratic candidates have got to just unlighten up. How's that? Unlighten up.
What you want is you want to feel good because you think your candidates are fighting for you. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if they don't win.
I don't want to go into that thing. It does matter. It does matter.
It does.
Oh, so you think that if what's his fuck? If Hillary Clinton had won, we'd be looking at a 6-3 court right now. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
All right, folks, we're gonna end right now. Let's leave it there.
Listen,
he's joking, by the way. He's being sarcastic.
And you can't understand. He's
being sarcastic.
Formula.
I'll even.
If I say something and Brian says the opposite, I'm right. That's it.
Dave, it's always good speaking with you. In fact, I don't even know who you are.
I'd like to be able to say that about you. I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, Brian.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish up. I'm going to shut him up right now. Oh, wait, can I do that? Yeah. Now he can't. They can't hear you now, Dave. Listen. I'm going to take him off there. Listen. David and I are good friends, folks. We argue incessantly. We argued about what songs we would play, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, David and I have like minds when it comes to how we see what's happening to this country and where we need to go. Now, along the route, we have our differences and we always argue. I used to argue with my father. We were both Democrats, okay? So just understand, David and I are good friends, but we've had our issues with each other many, many times. But don't look at what you see and say, oh, these guys just hate it. No. This is just the way it is. Dave, I'll let them see your face before you go, okay? There it is. He's angry.
I'm not, Brian. The reason that I'm not is you said it. In the end, we both want the same thing.
Right.
We'll argue over the roads, and here's what I think we want. We want a fair America. We want a just America. We want a good America. We want a better America than it's ever been. And ladies and gentlemen out there, here's how we get it. Elect Joe Biden, elect Democrats in numbers enough to take over the Senate, keep the majority and expand it, and then
okay. Well, Dave, thank you very much. We get a lot of compliments tonight. I think you guys are a wonderful, I guess, debate and discussion team. Yeah, we're like that, you know. You never know what's going to happen when David Price shows up. Oh, God. This is called a Jewish goodbye. It just keeps going on and on. You are truly a Jewish person, Dave. You just don't know it. You and your Jewish goodbyes. He can have, 3 points, and then each of those 3 points have 7 points. And it just becomes a web. You remember with Martin Luther King, ladies and gentlemen, that bending arc of freedom or whatever? Dave has this bending... Okay, whatever. You quote it, Mr. Quote. You're Mr. Quote. What's the quote? Okay. Dave has this bending arc of getting to the point. It takes like 4 days for him to get to the point. Okay. Oh, he's crazy. I'm telling you. The guy's insane. This guy over here is insane. But we both hate Trump. Good night.
Funk, thoughts deep, boys steeped in the depths that he sunk. Big stress, depressed in the middle of fall. Sky gray, high late in the thick of it all. I wonder, how long can a human survive just staying alive or carrying the rest of the tribe? Waiting for the day to arrive or struggling dies, and I be doing way, way more than getting by. So why? Got myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Myself a cup of coffee, sipping water when it's softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. I needed me some rainy days, so I needed me some rainy days, so rest for the weary, so we teary eyes realize life is so much more than just living a day. Every day I can sit and reflect and breathe and connect to myself and all that I've been given. See, giving up is not an option. So while I'm looking at gray skies, I'll be adopting a new way to deal with a test. Lord, relieve me of stress and bring me looking like when blessings drop in. And so I got myself a cup of coffee, sipping water.